Chris Demm's brother, oddly, just texted yesterday. He lives in Maine and is considering going on a date with a news anchor in Maine. And just basically was saying, what do you think of this? This news anchor has asked him out, which I think is great. So, of course, first thing we did was Google her and see and she's, attractive and has been working at the news station there for 20-some years. And Chris Demm was saying, we do a thing here called Give a Kid a Coat, which is every year at this time, when it's winter time, we try to pick up coats and take in coats for kids who may not have them for the winter. And once there was a news anchor in here doing a piece on this. This is 20 years ago. And his name was Tom Britt, and he worked here for a long time. And he was
in this market.
Not in this building, but in this market for a long time. And he came in one time to do a piece on Give a Kid a Coat 20 years ago. We walked into the studio, as we always do, 3 minutes before airtime, and he's putting on his makeup because he's getting ready to go live, And
he thought it was just an empty room.
Yeah. We had a little taped program going, and he's just dabbing things on left and right. And here's how I am. He's like, he goes, hey, guys, hey.
I mean,
right.
Three startled gentlemen.
Yeah, we all are like, what? And, he says, I guess I'll get on down the hall and do my piece here on Give a Kid a Coat. And I said, God, Tom, it is so nice of you to stop in. Thank you. And he leaves. And Chris Demm said, he wasn't here to see us. He ducked into an empty room to put on his makeup.
He needed a mirror and some time.
That's what we caught him doing, was dabbing on the makeup, and all that stuff. So that's those news anchors. There's a guy here now. His name is Chad Silbur, also just here locally. I saw him a couple of weeks ago. They were talking about what they're doing for the new year and everything, and he was talking about resolutions, what to give up, and he didn't want to give up anything. And he said, I used to not drink caffeine, but now I allow myself one small cup of coffee per month.
That is a level, Kelly, of discipline that you will never know.
How could I possibly achieve that? He said, I do allow myself one small cup of coffee per month. Otherwise, and this was the continuation, I don't get my 9 hours of sleep that I need every night. 9. He went to 9. I thought, there is no way.
That's got to be way over the average American.
Yeah. What's the average of
6.5?
7. I mean, I think 7 is doing pretty good, honestly. Yeah. If some people 5. I mean, it's tough. And if you stay up late doing anything in our business, you don't get that. Last night, this won't be as funny as it was when it happened, but a calamity last night. I played pickle in heavy winds. You
weren't supposed to.
No, you warned me. You and Dave said it's going to be really windy out there, and that's...
Plus, it had rained earlier, so the courts were damp.
Slick. Diesel took a tumble last night. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was okay, and we lost the point, but he went down.
Is he injured?
No. He had to walk it off for a bit. He went off the court. We spent probably a half hour drying the court with towels. We get down
towels and leaf blowers.
We get down on our hands and knees with towels and dry it up. That's how dedicated we are to it. Some say it's not even dedication; it's insanity. I mean, you're grown men down on the concrete surface, sopping up water
to play an elderly person's game.
I reject that.
Sorry.
Listen to that bluntness. That's the bluntness. You forget B.B. Shea has that directness until he's here for a week. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, yes, he's cutting. He's not like Biggie, who lands, again, softly. He lets me land softly. So, yeah, we lay down all the towels and everything. But Diesel had to go ranging off the court by a couple of feet to try to get one. And his feet came out from under him, and he kicked the post that holds the net. I mean, it was
at least it wasn't his face hitting the post.
No, I have not seen that, but I've heard of that happening, and that can really hurt you.
So where did what took the brunt of the injury, if I may?
His right foot hit the post, and then he just landed on his backside, Okay. So, but he got up and kind of was like, okay, I'm all right. He's a little sore. The calamity that happened. This won't be funny, okay? I should preface most things by saying this will not be funny. But if you had seen it, it really would have been. That was extremely windy last night. And off to the side of one of the courts, there's on a stand, I'm sure you've seen them, like a dark green cooler and some cups, coming out for water. And so there are these cups that are like cone shaped that, you'd put a little slushy in. You know what those look like with a
little one-use cup.
Right. So I see it, and on the ground are 3 or 4 cups because the wind has blown them out the bottom of the cup dispenser. So I thought, okay, I know Diesel is an environmentalist. I said, you know what I'm going to do? Make myself a hero here and put these back up in the chute.
What?
I said, I'm going to pick these.
You think that's heroic?
Yes. I'm going to pick these up off the ground, and I was going to go through the top of the chute so that they are.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? All right. So the chute is connected to the cooler, and there are 3 or 4 cups on the ground. I put them together in a cone shape, and when I press down on the cup dispenser, the whole thing falls off and is now on the ground. So the cup dispenser's on the ground, and then everybody's laughing. And then when I pick it up, 6,000 cups come out the wrong end and are all
blowing in the wind,
over
as they
everything.
say.
And the wind gusts and they're off to the winds. And I say to the Diesel, I was trying to do good here. And then he just has a tear come down his face.
Like that old TV commercial.
Yes.
That litter.
That's right. That was so frustrating to try to do the right thing and not be able to do the right
Look,
thing.
I don't want, and BB Shea will probably share in the bluntness. That's 100% not the right thing.
No.
What are you talking about?
Why would you take dirty cups from the ground to put them back in gin pop?
Oh, I didn't find them to be dirty. I didn't think about them being dirty. They were just
After all you spit and sweat out there?
Yeah, it's off to the side.
Diesel's butt juice on the ground.
No, it's off to the side. It's
side.
It wasn't near where. I guess
doesn't matter.
I guess I should have just thrown them away.
Yeah.
The point is, though, I broke the container, and every cup in it was now gone.
Did you just report it, or did you just scatter?
I'd actually have.
Blame it on local teens.
Let's just go.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't gonna.
Are there cameras
I
out
wasn't
there?
gonna. Oh God, I hope not. I don't know.
I bet there are. There are more cameras than you know.
No, that's for sure. I wasn't going to hang around for that. That's for sure. The another thing about what an amazing time it is today, and have 2 things ever gone more perfectly together? Today is National Radio Disc Jockey Day, nationally.
Is it radio DJ or like club DJ?
Radio
like
DJ.
Skrillex.
We did the no. BB
Is he still a thing?
No.
I don't know.
They're not old enough yet. They don't get it done yet.
BB Shea and I did the research on this. It's
Okay.
National Radio DJ Day.
Yeah.
And also, and I don't think this is a coincidence, National Sweatpant Day, which is what a lot of
us will show up to work
do
in.
that. I mean, I've come in here in a sweatpant before. I got a hoodie on today. BB Shea made a montage. Now, Biggie usually makes our montages in here, but he did a radio DJ montage. It's pretty darn good.
We find a delightful creature called a disc jockey.
It's January 20th. Today is Disc Jockey Day.
I'd like a job as a disc jockey.
DJs.
Disc jockeys are found everywhere.
National Disc Jockey Day.
He's one of your real DJ pals.
I love them.
Best DJ on the radio.
Happy DJ Day.
That really touches me that you did that.
Only for you, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He alerted
And Chris
me.
Demm, too.
Well, yeah, he alerted me to the fact that today is National DJ Day. I said, oh my gosh, we have our own day.
Our own day.
Didn't even realize it. Stuck right here in the middle of January. Tomorrow is Biggie's birthday, and it is also National Give a Hug Day. So Biggie can give a great big giant hug.
I wonder how many of us it would take to encircle Biggie. To give him a hug.
I think it's wonderful. I hate he's not going to be here. He's out of town. It's a weekend. We should next year, let's remember that it is National Give a Hug Day on Biggie's birthday. He'll be back in next year, I assume. He took his whole week off, his whole birthday week, and Monday. He's off on Monday, too. And we'll all encircle him and give him a great big hug on National Hug Day and National Biggie Birthday, which we'll have to do that next year.
I think I've told you that when I was a kid, listening to I'm old enough to listen to AM radio before FM radio was really a thing.
Oh, yeah.
And my favorite radio station was WLEE in Richmond. They had played top 40, listen to it in the morning, listen to it as coming home from school, and at night.
Yeah.
That's when you're teenagers, that's all they had.
Right.
Was AM radio. And Terry Young was the DJ, and these guys were gods to me. And then one time, because we also read the newspaper, because my parents got morning and nighttime newspapers. That's how old we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
And one time the newspaper, the radio station bought an ad and put a picture of all the DJs in suits and ties.
Yes.
And their faces in the paper. And it was the single most depressing day.
Yeah, because
of my life.
That's right.
My young life.
That's right. Because you didn't want to know. You had it in your mind what they look like, and then when you see
these wild, crazy voices you'd hear on the radio,
it's always a disappointment. Always.
Completely.
Whenever you meet somebody and they don't know what you look like, it's a huge disappointment. When we put the cameras up in here,
we have a meeting tonight. We're going to disappoint hundreds of people.
I'd say hundreds of people.
Town.
Tonight, we're going to disappoint a whole small town. And when they put the cameras up in here, we all said, why? Why would you want? Why? But they did. They put the cameras
Yeah,
up.
they're here.
And here they are. And now you can see
The
it
comments
on
on that first YouTube video were brutal.
Were they really?
Yeah, man. You didn't read those?
I never.
BB Shea Kelly never goes into the comments. That's Biggie's golden rule.
Remember yesterday when I said, I was talking about sliding into someone's DMs.
Yeah.
And you said, you know how you can read on the wall or the history? And I said, no, I don't. Why? How?
Pare all that back.
Yeah.
I never, ever read the comments. What did they say?
It's like, Kelly's a lurch, blah, 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 blah. Kristen,
Lurch?
the only person who got compliments was Dave.
Why?
They're like, man, he's sexy. I'm like,
what?
Makes sense, yeah.
That's the first ever video or the first feed?
First ever video on YouTube. Yeah.
Lurch.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Sometimes they call me that. They say those mean, horrible things about me.
Yeah, it's rough.
I don't read the comments. You should.
It's National DJ Day. Let's not even think
We
about
shouldn't.
that.
We should not think about that. That's exactly right. I'll tell you that BB Shea made another nice montage in here today as well for the passing of Mr. Crosby.
It's been a long time gone. Almost cut my hair.
Wooden ships on the water, very free. Carry on. She has seen me changing, and it gets harder as you get older, farther away.
David Crosby, dead at 81 yesterday. I'll tell you something else. We can get into all of his stuff. Wait till Dave gets here, do it in prime time, talk about David Crosby. But just in hearing this stuff yesterday, what amazing music they made. You know, it's incredible.
He had a gift. There's no doubt. I mean,
incredible.
Certainly a troubled guy, and he would tell you that he was sometimes got in his own way.
Yes,
but when he could collaborate, when he was on the same page with his collaborators, magic.
It's beautiful music. It is wonderful music. And I don't know.
He was an interesting cat. He was always an interesting cat.
Yeah, he was.
There was a documentary I saw he made 5-6 years ago. Mm-hmm. Remarkable. He was very upfront and honest about things he had done.
Really?
Yeah, maybe mistakes he'd made along the way.
We have a lot of audio today from something called Laurel Canyon, which they made 2 years ago, which goes back into like all these bands of the 60s. And I hear that's really good. You might want to. I haven't
seen it.
I don't know where it even is, but I bet you'd like that. But yeah, you know how I learned that he had died? Somebody texted me. We have an old call where a P1 listener said she met David Crosby once.
On a tour bus or after a show?
Airport or somewhere after
a
show. And tried to get his autograph, which, by the way, he gave her. We'll probably re-air that later, but maybe not. I don't know. Later we'll probably play it. Nonetheless, she said David Crosby is a complete a-hole, and over again she said it. And so somebody texted me out of the blue yesterday and said, you know what I think about David Crosby? He's an a-hole, because they had heard that call. And I was like, oh, David Crosby must be dead. That's how I learned. It's like, I bet David Crosby died. So then I Googled, yeah, he had died. At 81, pretty good run for David Crosby, I would say.
He would tell you.
He lived hard.
He would tell you the exact same. I mean, he had major health issues.
Yeah, he lived hard, and had a very interesting, I don't think he would, I say he probably wouldn't change much about his life. I think maybe, because I know he was not on good terms with Stills and Nash and Neil Young probably. But other than that, I think he probably lived the way he wanted to, don't you think? I mean, he did a lot.
He seemed to. I mean, that's a good question.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, everybody probably has regrets.
Right. But it seemed like he really lived it on his own terms, which I guess when you go out is something you want to say. You know, I want to. I lived it on my own terms. But we have much more on the death of David Crosby yesterday. I was just struck by how many amazing songs he was on with the Byrds, and then Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. And Chris Demm reminded me he sang backup, or he sang harmonies on the Hootie and the Blowfish song "Hold My Hand," which I had no idea.
Really? That's cool.
Wow.
Here's that one on top.